you look out into the depths of space, you realize just the vast ocean of darkness, and we're on this little island.
Without a doubt, when you are climbing on your rocket, when you're launching into space, when the engine cuts out and you get to look back at Earth, absolutely every sacrifice is worth it. Every dream is worth it. The entire road there is worth it. Every bit of it is worth it.
I will never forget that sight. The thin blue line of the atmosphere, the curve of the horizon. That's when it became real. Really, at a gut level, I'm actually in space.
They will travel to a record-breaking distance from Earth as well. This mission is not just entering a lunar orbit. Instead, Artemis II will perform a free return trajectory, allowing the crew to test the Orion spacecraft systems. This flight is a critical step in preparing for future lunar missions, including those that will land astronauts on the moon in 2028. Remarkably, this is the first time in 53 years that humans will travel back to the moon, laying that foundation for future Artemis missions, with the goal of landing astronauts on the surface. America is once again sending humans back to the moon. I'm David Denault, and I'm joined by Dr. Donald Platt, Director of Florida Tech's Spaceport Center in Titusville. Well, Don, welcome to our broadcast.
Thank you, David. It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
Well, it's an exciting time for sure. Tell us a little bit about Florida Tech and what's your job there.
Sure. Well, Florida Tech was established by rocket scientists at what is now Kennedy Space Center to basically train the younger engineers and to learn more about rocket science for those younger people. And so today's Florida Tech is still involved in training the younger rocket scientists of tomorrow with our aerospace engineering and our space systems master's programs, all highly involved with the space industry and specifically launching rockets like the Artemis that we'll see here tonight.
Well, I tell you, this is an amazing time to be here at the Space Center, and I guess our first time to have a live audience. But before we go to our launch coverage, I'd like to introduce our NASA Minister, Jared Isaacman, and the future of NASA.
We didn't go right to Apollo 11, right? We had a whole Mercury program, Gemini, Apollo, lots of Apollo missions before we ultimately landed. Right now, our program is essentially set up with an Apollo 8 and then going right to the moon. And that is, again, not a pathway to success. So what is the right way forward here? So first, today we're announcing a standardization of the SLS fleet to what we'll call essentially a near Block 1 configuration. So the idea is we want to reduce complexity to the greatest extent possible. We want to accelerate manufacturing, pull in the hardware, and increase launch rate, which obviously has a direct safety consideration to it as well. You get into a good rhythm, launching great frequency, you get that muscle memory. In order to do that, we need to rebuild and strengthen the workforce here at NASA. Now, this is directly in line with a workforce directive that I released several weeks ago. We have to rebuild core competencies. The ability to turn around our launch pads and launch with frequency greater than every 3 years is imperative. Now, some people ask me questions on that already as we've talked about this, and it's like, how are we going to do that? How we can go from 3 years to something significantly less, to what I think should actually be inside of 1 year? And I'll point you to our history. We have a nice infographic that's coming out from Mercury, Gemini, Apollo through the shuttle program. I don't think it would surprise many of the folks in the room that our average launch cadence was closer to 3 months throughout all those programs, not 3 years. In fact, if you want a history tidbit, you look at the time when Apollo 7 splashed down to when Apollo 8 launched, you're approximately 2 months apart. We need to start getting back to basics and moving in this direction. So rebuilding the civil servant workforce and restoring core capabilities. Again, that will directly contribute to NASA's launch cadence, where we're going to endeavor to get our launches inside of a year, specifically down to potentially 10 months. And then we are going to add missions. In fact, we're essentially going to pull in Artemis II to launch in 2027 with a revised mission profile. So instead of going directly to a lunar landing, we will endeavor to rendezvous in low Earth orbit with one or both of our lunar landers, test out integrated operations between Orion and the landers, ECLSS systems, even to the extent possible, if we can get up development components of our XEVA suits to test out vehicle interfaces, even just getting an astronaut in a suit in microgravity, we can learn a lot with the idea that we should be learning. And take this information back to inform hardware development, whether it's in the landers or in the suits before Artemis IV, where we will attempt to land on the moon. We are also, as a component of the strategy, endeavoring to preserve up to 2 landing attempts in 2028. So if we get it inside of the 10-month turnaround time that we would like to see, Artemis II will launch on its historic mission in the weeks ahead. Artemis III will have its opportunity, if we can, by mid-2027, which sets us up for an early 28 and a late 28 opportunity. So that is the approach that we are taking at a very high level. I will tell you, we're not surprising our industry or our stakeholders at this press conference right now. We've been having these discussions for a long time. In fact, I give a lot of credit to NASA and its team. No one at NASA forgot their history books. They knew how to do this. They've had plans like this for a long time. Now we're putting it in action. We had a chance to have these discussions across all of our industry partners, all of the prime contractors on the SLS vehicle.
So this is both a significant and historic mission. It's the first human mission to the moon in 50 years. and it is going to be a mission where they first fly in what's called an elliptical orbit of the Earth, and then at that time they're going to be able to check out their systems, make sure the rocket engines are ready to go, and everything is ready to then boost into what is called a translunar injection.
You know, we're going to spend, what, 24 hours or so in Earth orbit?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, so that'll be a checkout time, make sure everything's okay. They can always come back to the Earth if they had to during that time, but hopefully it'll be a go and they'll be ready for translunar injection.
Now, about how much, we're talking about how fast do we have the escape velocity? What is that approximately?
It's somewhere in the neighborhood of about 26,000 miles an hour. So it's a huge amount of speed. To give you an idea, in Earth orbit, like where the space station is, that's about 17,500 miles an hour. So this is a tremendous amount of speed beyond what the astronauts have flown for the last 50 years.
Wow. When we come back, you'll meet the crew of Artemis II. And stay with us for about 2 minutes. I'm David Denault, and America and the world is watching About Space Today's coverage of Artemis II.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
This is David Denault inviting you to see America 250 and experience history. 3 tours that will provide you a new perspective about early American history that comes to life. The Independence Tour, where you'll see Philadelphia's Independence Hall, to Betsy Ross House and Valley Forge, where Washington camped. See where America was formed. And then there's the Presidents and Liberty Tour that will take you to Williamsburg, Yorktown, and hear the famous words of Patrick Henry. And there's the Pilgrim to the Shot Heard Around the World Tour. You can walk the deck of the Mayflower replica, then tour Boston and travel to Lexington and Concord before returning to Cape Cod. Now, group coordinators are wanted. Have a free tour, have your expenses paid, and be guaranteed $1,000 cash for each group of 4 paid. Email or call the number below for more information and experience America's 250th celebration.
All right, team, game day means big flavor, big screens, and big cheers. Wings sauced, ribs fall off the bone, seafood fired up fresh. Now get out there and dominate your hunger. Gators Dockside, we feed champions.
I'm David Denault.
And I'm Don Platt.
Welcome back to our coverage of Artemis II. Don, we had the opportunity to spend time when the Artemis I mission went up. We got to meet a number of the crew, very friendly, very personable. And why don't you introduce our crew? You want to meet them?
Well, I think that it's always interesting to meet an astronaut who has been involved with so many different things in their lives, and so they've really gotten to this point by being fully involved in a whole bunch of different types of exploration, competitions, all sorts of technical development, engineering systems, fighter pilots. These are really that get selected. These are certainly the best of the best, and there is just no way around that. And so even with that, they're taking several.
Well, let's meet the crew of Artemis II.
I'm Victor Glover. I'm the pilot.
I'm Reed Wiseman. I'm the commander for the Artemis II mission to the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon. To the moon.
NASA to know if there is a delay, to know what's...
When I was young, I had a poster of the Earthrise picture, the famous picture that was taken on Apollo 8. And the fact that it was a human behind the lens that made that picture so profound and changed how we all thought of our own home was so amazing to me. The moon is not just a symbol of thinking about our place in the universe. It's not just a symbol of exploration. It's actually a beacon for science.
You know, pushing ourselves to explore is just core to who we are. It's a part of being a human. That's our nature. We go out there and we explore to learn about where we are, why we are, understanding the big questions about our place in the universe. The exploration we're doing is the first few steps on the path.
Goal for humanity, that's inspiring contributions from around the globe. Not just one nation is inspired and moved by this, but nations from around the globe are coming together.
And I'm Don Platt.
When I look at the Artemis II crew with Victor, Christina, and from around the globe are coming together.
And I'm Don Platt.
When I look at the Artemis II crew with Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, they want to go do this mission. They are keenly driven. They are humble to a fault. It is so cool. Tiny step in humans on Mars and a sustained presence on our moon.
Force stage engine start.
Artemis II.
To verify today's capabilities for humans to explore deep space
And pave the way for NASA's long-term human and scientific presence on the lunar surface.
we are ready.
We are going
To the moon.
for all humanity. We are Artemis.
And for more NASA videos, hit subscribe.
And during our coverage of Artemis I, we had the opportunity to meet several of the astronauts. And John Gomez, our executive producer for live coverage, had that opportunity to meet Jeremy Hansen, the first Canadian to travel beyond Earth.
A Canadian is going to the moon with our international partnership, and it is glorious.
I then asked him what he felt when he found out he was chosen for the Artemis II mission.
Pretty excited, as it's a dream come true for me to explore space. I've been excited about leaving planet Earth. I love it here, but I've been really excited about leaving it and going to space and seeing the planet from that perspective. This is an extraordinary opportunity to be part of sending humanity back to the moon. This is just one step of many to do that, but it's an important step, of course, like they all are. But eventually, our efforts on this mission are going to enable boots on the moon, create an international collaboration to do more in space, to go further in space. I think this is extraordinarily important. Our contribution as a crew is pretty tiny compared to what's required overall from the team to make this possible. But it's a fun contribution. I'm enjoying the ride along the way. So,
what was your family's reaction when they found out you'd be part of this historic mission?
They were super excited. Space exploration has been a big part of their lives, supporting me and pursuing this dream. I have 3 young adult children and my wife, and they've all been extraordinarily supportive along the way. But for them, this was them seeing me have this opportunity to achieve a lifelong goal, and they've been really excited for me. Of course, it's not lost on us that there's some risk involved. I had them here at the Cape just in March to show them, where they're going to be for launch, see the capsule, and where we'll spend some time together when we're in quarantine here. And but it was also a bit serious in that they were putting themselves in their future shoes and imagining the emotions that'll come along with watching their husband and father.
Oh, so they're just trying to catch up? Okay.
Okay. Nothing.
Okay, good.
Yeah, stay with us. Keep feeding us.
Yeah, you can stay here.
Yes, yeah, real close.
232, I don't think they have 212 access. We're trying to verify, but...
Okay, good.
But it sounds like they have a loss of lock as well.
You got a good current. Just stay with
About
us.
2 seconds. Okay.
And I guess for both KUS and CUSC, do we have lock now?
That's affirmed. We do have lock for COSE.
Like Ryan's resume, it says alien. That got my attention. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so from the integration console perspective, we did have a temporary loss there in the allowable for the requirement. Let's go. This is Houston flight. We have lock-in. We have good telemetry here in GSC. And KUS is reported to they have good walk now.
3, 2, 1.
Suit. And it was developed by Axiom, and it's added protection for this mission because the astronauts are actually going to be traveling farther out to the Van Allen belt with heavy radiation. Now, Artemis I did that, but they had, well, I don't want to say dummies, but they had mannequins.
Mannequins.
Yes, moonikins.
Moonikins.
That's what they were called, yes. So it's really been an amazing project to watch being developed. And most people don't know, if we had a decompression in the capsule on the way to the moon, they could actually put these suits on, and they have enough in each suit to survive for 6 days. And they can turn the spacecraft around at any point. Let's take a look at the new spacesuits.
The first time astronauts will return to the moon since the Apollo missions. The crew represents a cross-section of humanity, demanding a new spacesuit that accommodates both men and women, and has an inclusive range of fit and sizes. When the next generation of astronauts set foot on the moon, they will explore the lunar surface wearing Axiom Space's balance than previous models. It will have more features engineered into a compact design, yet still protect against radiation levels 150 times higher than on Earth, punishing temperatures between 250 and minus 208 degrees Fahrenheit, and sharp lunar regolith. Enter the Italian fashion house Prada and the American aerospace company Axiom Space. Axiom Space has partnered with Prada on the white outer layer design of the spacesuit. Prada's specialized knowledge of carbon fibers and composites manufacturing and expertise from its Luna Rossa America's Cup team bring a unique design perspective. The new spacesuit will provide astronauts with advanced capabilities for space exploration, increased flexibility, and specialized tools to collect lunar samples on the surface of the South Pole. The outer layer is naturally white to reflect sunlight and help regulate the internal temperature of the suit. Unlike the predecessor suits, the AX-EMU suit will be modular, enabling multiple configurations that can accommodate a broader range of specialists working and one day inhabiting our closest neighbor. The development of these next-generation spacesuits is a significant milestone and beyond.
Welcome back to our coverage of Artemis II. We are at Gators Dockside in Port Canaveral. And you can see behind us, the crowd is gathered here. There are over 400,000 people projected to be on the Space Coast for this historic launch. And the crowd here about noontime and has continued to grow and grow. And behind us, you can kind of get a little look of the crowd that's been here. We're about to pick up the countdown again. They've had some little chores, a little bit behind on their schedule. So they're kind of working to get back on a countdown. And so we're still looking for an afternoon launch, nice weather.
Beautiful weather. Sunshine's come back in after some rain earlier, but it's looking good weather-wise.
Really, and of course that was a little alarming because they shouldn't be out of here about 1, 2 o'clock.
Yes.
We watched 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock to get out of here, but it is clear skies. There is, unless there's something in the rocket, we're ready to go, and so are the astronauts.
Absolutely.
Well, Don, talk a little bit more maybe about some of the spacesuit technology that's been developed.
Sure, yeah, well, one of the things, of course, is the radiation environment in deep space is a real concern for astronauts, and so any suit has to provide some protection, not only for pressure, of course, as we mentioned, but then also for the radiation environment, and especially as they spend more time at the moon. Of course, the moon has no station has still within the Earth's magnetic field, and so these spacesuits have to protect against all sorts of things and really be sort of miniature spacecraft.
Wow.
Either go on time or don't go at all.
I think that as we look at this mission right now, we're in a hold, trying to catch up a little bit, and they are talking back and forth in mission control right now. What, if anything, I don't see a delay here in launching. It may be delayed a few more minutes, but they'll pick this launch count up. I don't see any issues, do you?
No, I think basically what was going on is that this is sort of, a new rocket. It's only been launched once before. There's a variety of tasks that they have to do to make sure that the rocket is safe and ready to go, especially now with humans on board this rocket. And so some of these tasks may take a little bit longer than they anticipated. And so they just got to make sure that all the things are perfect and everything is in alignment, or there is no way they're going to be able to send this rocket into space with humans on it all the way to the moon. So it's very important that they just catch up on any things that are still outstanding, and then they'll be ready to go here shortly, I believe.
And I would look at this afternoon in particular. There was a lot of concerns about the weather. It's been beautiful, clear skies. And the launch director the other day said, here, and I'd like to introduce to you Jacob Bleacher was NASA, and Jacob Bleacher of NASA.
I did want to start by saying what a privilege it is to be here and an honor it is to be a part of the Artemis II team. I want to echo some of John's words earlier. That's not just our colleagues here at this table, but the thousands of people who have worked on Artemis II over the years, including you all. Thank you for being here to help us relay this information and tell this story. We're rolling out the integrated SLS and Orion for a flight safely back to Earth. Artemis II is a test flight. It truly is exploration. There will be a number of firsts that we'll be proving out on this flight. And I like to say that during exploration, science is our toolbox for survival. With that in mind, I'm excited to research space weather research and also some planetary geology. Our integrated campaign is designed to help unlock more time for science on future missions by minimizing crew time spent on other activities and increasing crew and support team efficiency on the science tasks themselves, all while learning how to best thrive in the deep space environment. During this flight, we will learn how the spacecraft behaves. Through our research campaign, we will also learn how we will be flying a payload called AVATAR, which stands for a Virtual Astronaut Tissue Analog Response. Basically, AVATAR enables us to mimic individual astronaut organs, and Artemis II will mark the first time that these types of devices have been tested outside the Van Allen belts or away from the ISS. We will test if we can use these astronaut avatars as tools for measuring and predicting our human response to the deep space stressors. To evaluate this, scientists will compare AVATAR data with space station findings we've already collected, as well as with samples taken from our crew both before and after the flight. For NASA, AVATAR could help inform measures to ensure crew health on future deep space missions, including personalizing medical kits for each astronaut. For citizens here on Earth, it could lead to advancements in individualized treatments for diseases such as cancer. We'll also be flying an activity called Archer, Artemis Research for Crew Health and Readiness. For the Archer study, crew members will wear movement and sleep monitors called actigraphy devices before, during, and after the mission. These wristband monitors will enable us to study real-time health and behavioral information for the crew members and help scientists study how crew members' sleep and activity patterns are affected and how overall health and performance is affected. The study will evaluate how their capsule. We'll also measure a set of immune biomarkers. For the immune biomarker study, crew members will supply saliva samples through the flight, and they have done so on Earth and will do so when they return for comparison. Scientists will gain insights into how the astronauts' immune systems are affected by the increased stressor.
Welcome back to our coverage of Artemis II. I'm David Denal.
And I'm Don Platt.
And we are here at Gators Dockside in Port Canaveral. A first for us to have a live audience and to watch this historic launch and the enthusiasm.
Wow. I mean, it almost feels like we're back at a humans.
But anyway, now and he was with the Eagle Scout Association. So I asked him, would you do a little promo for us? He said, sure. So before they went in, he said, sure. So before they went in, he stepped aside and he shook my hand, didn't look, figured until I got in the car. It was an Apollo 8 coin.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty, I still have that, obviously, in my collection. Hey, the crowd's growing. Look behind us there for a second. Wow.
Yeah, the excitement is definitely in the air right now.
It's now 3 or 4 deep. It's exciting. It really is. I guess we're taking a look now at the Artemis rocket on the pad. Can we take a look at that, John?
We're approaching 3.5 minutes in the countdown now.
Yes, and looking very positive. They could pause at 3. They could. So it is the most powerful rocket ever built.
Yeah, it's 8.5 or more, a little over 8.5 million pounds of thrust. So that's literally 100 747s or more taking off at one time.
Oh yes, unbelievable the power of this rocket. The first one was 3 minutes, thank you, into the countdown, and it's going to continue with non-stop right now. That's very positive. But I can, you can go back and look at some of the first launch of Artemis. It was at night, early in the morning.
Yes.
Some of us stayed up to 2:30 in the morning.
Right.
Anyway, when I compared a Saturn V, look, 7.1 million pounds, a little bit more, less. Well, let me tell you what. The Saturn went up nice and easy, and this one went boom. You couldn't see anything. So, are we ready to go? Let's go to NASA.
Now we're going to start moving the power out from both the upper stage and the lower stage of the rocket to internal, taking ground power away,
here we go.
And now going to battery power.
Thanks, Ed.
GLS is go for upper stage power.
All right, power is removed from the rocket's upper stage. The ICPS, and it's been switched to battery. Same milestone for the lower core stage coming up at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds. Right now, the 4-person Artemis II crew is 248,000 miles away from the moon. And if all goes well, they will fly by it in 6 days.
GLS is go for core stage to internal power.
All right, there's the rocket's core stage, which houses 3 flight computers, is now on its own power. There's no more hold time because there's no more margin on these batteries. So we would have to recycle back to T-minus 10 to recharge if we had a hold.
6:34, not bad.
1 minute. Right now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS. The rocket will count itself down, but honor any holds. 4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket. NASA has ever launched. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7.
Look at the bottom.
RS-25
Look
engines.
at the tower.
4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of integrity on the Artemis II mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the limits. Integrity passes the ultimate eco. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour. Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
On, possibly on.
go. Separation. Boom.
Have you the same?
Communication signal transport confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic.
Jettison the boosters.
Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis
There
II
we are.
mission.
We're going to orbit
miles an hour,
right
8
now.
miles downrange, traveling at more than 2,600 miles per hour.
That thing's in space. Wow.
1 minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, and solid rocket booster separation expected at the 2-minute 9.
Here we go. All right.
Confirmed separation. Main engine's throttling up. Guidance confirmed.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Blue
So
skies.
now Ed sits here, does he? Or
Yes.
how does, yeah.
Yep. All right. Ed, come on.
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready. Integrity, SM priming complete. SM priming complete.
Gotta get
2 minutes,
Ed's
45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. Thrusters on Integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state ahead of service module fairing separation. 3 minutes into the flight. Integrity 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange.
You did good, darling.
5,000 miles per hour.
Perfect. You're hired again. You saw how I snuck that in this morning, right? Yes. I said, Judy, you can stay with Judy next time. Did you like that? Judy told me to tell you that. By the way.
Standing by for launch abort system jettison. Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
No, but just kind of stay with us. So, we'd like to get out this and Orion.
Flight of Artemis II, Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen crossed the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison, now working on it. 8 minutes 2 seconds, time of MECO.
Nobody tells you have to move the mouse. Oh yeah, we had a good. We're watching there. That's pretty much right on button there.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Watch the MECO.
Yeah, we're holding just a second here for MECO.
Flight dynamics officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds, time of MECO.
Oh crap! What did I just do?
GPS processing.
Oh crap! There we go. Come on.
Outstanding, Stan. We see the same, and we have a
John,
beautiful moonrise. We're headed right at it.
Come out in a single shot.
Ashes internal checks and sends to navigation channels. This time we're seeing 4 good engines.
2 minutes.
Control Houston.
Integrity, 3 engines.
We're gonna hold for MECO.
Downrange, approaching 10,000 miles per hour.
3 engine press.
On time, now passing 5 minutes 20 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. At this point, 3 good main engines are all that's needed to carry Integrity to a nominal main engine cutoff target. Though at this time, we're seeing 4 good engines here in Mission Control Houston.
And an altitude
Integrity,
of
75 miles in altitude, 330 miles downrange, approaching 10,000 miles per hour. Good trajectory and engine performance.
Shutdown.
Soon report the shutdown.
Nominal shutdown.
Judd Freeling expected at the 7-minute mark. Integrity 78.
Integrity looking good at 6 minutes.
Nominal shutdown. Same on board, Stan.
Good trajectory and engine performance. Booster officer will soon report the shutdown plan to Flight Director Judd Freeling, expected at the 7-minute mark. Plan is as expected.
Throttling
Integrity,
down.
78 miles in altitude, 460 miles downrange.
Integrity, expect nominal shutdown.
Well, that's for the blind people.
I like that.
Yes, exactly.
Integrity copies, nominal shutdown.
Can you get enough room over there? I can slide it. Okay.
7 minutes of mission elapsed time. 6 minutes 40 seconds of mission elapsed time. Shutdown plan is as expected.
Wow.
Again, the time of MECO was confirmed at 8 minutes, 2 seconds into the flight. At the 7 minute, 30 second mark. Now 84 miles in altitude, 650 miles downrange, traveling more than 15,000 miles per hour. 7 minutes of mission elapsed time. Throttling down as we approach the abort once around option. Milestone at the 7 minute, 30 second mark. Now 84 miles in altitude, 650 miles downrange, traveling more than 15,000 miles per hour.
You come back to us.
Integrity, AOA open.
Coming back to you.
Yes.
3, 2,
Welcome back to our coverage of Artemis II. I'm David Denault, and joining me is Ed Mango, the Program Manager and Professor of Aerospace Technology Programs at Eastern Florida State College in Titusville. He is a 34-year veteran of NASA. And Ed, thanks for joining me. Tell us a little bit about the school and what you do.
Oh, thank you for having me. Outstanding launch. If you can believe it, we're going back to the moon. I'm just tickled. We're going back to the moon. It's great. So I work for East Florida State College. We teach the technicians that work on basically the Orion, the core stage, as well as all the support systems. And we teach a 2-year program, and we have over 100 students in the program right now. And we graduate about 20 or so every semester.
Wow.
And they all get picked up by the contractors. Orion, the contractors who work with Orion pick up about between 3 and 6 a semester.
Excellent. And do you do a little teaching as well?
Oh yes, I teach a number of courses. Sometimes as much as 6 or 7. Basically the Orion.
So you're 34 years in NASA. You have probably seen a number of first in spacecraft development and launch.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I started my career working.
They are lifted by the hands of thousands, from coast to coast and across the ocean. A tapestry of will, innovation, and achievement.
Some constellation and commercial crew. So I saw the development of Ares 1X, plus the development of the 2 commercial crew vehicles, plus a number of others that were in the running. And then, of course, here for Constellation. Artemis is a great vehicle. It's going to get us to the moon here in a couple days.
Yes.
And we're going to put people on the moon in a couple years. If you talk about excitement in the Space Coast, and for our students and for anybody who wants to work in the space program, now is the time. It is just amazing.
So tell us, with your background, tell us a little bit about Orion.
Orion is an incredible vehicle. It first became an idea back in 2004. We won a contract shortly thereafter, and it's been in production or in design and production since then. Orion is about 320 cubic feet, 316 cubic feet. And if you look at that based on Apollo is just over 200 cubic feet. And you say, well, what is that? Well, your bedroom, if you have a 10 by 10 bedroom, that's 100 square feet. If you go up to the ceiling, say it's 8-foot ceilings, now it's 800 square feet, 800 cubic feet. So if you think about that, you have a lot more room in your bedroom than Orion has with 4 people in their capsule. But it's still much bigger than Apollo.
Well, I guess that when people look at this spacecraft, they're going, wow. But they're going to spend 10 days in it.
I'm sorry?
They're going to spend 10 days in this capsule.
Oh, yes. But they're doing a very exciting thing. So it is, I wouldn't say it's cramped, but it is smaller than your bedroom. And they have certain spots within the capsule that they're controlling the vehicle from. They have other spots where they can sleep, other spots where they can have food and things like that. And they're going to do some experiments on the way, and once they get there. This mission is really all about the checkout of Orion. They got to check out the data system, they got to check out the thrusters, and they got to check out the whole cooling system, because in the first flight, Artemis I, the cooling system wasn't all there because we didn't have people on board.
Right.
We didn't need them. So this time they really got to check out the cooling system, plus all the maneuvering capabilities. All that's going to be done before we commit to going to the moon in a couple days.
Wow.
They'd be very busy for the crew.
Yes, they will.
Very busy for the crew.
Oh, yes.
All 4 folks will be working very hard, but they also have time to kind of enjoy the fact that they are on their way to the moon.
Can you believe it? We're heading back to the moon.
It's hard to believe.
You know, I look back 53 years and the gray hair. I remember Apollo 8 doing the same type of a mission, that number 8, and orbit. So I think this is going to be terrific when we're done. Let's take a look at Orion. There are about 5 facts about Orion people should know about.
It's passing 12 minutes of mission first time. Energy rays its mission first time 49 minutes 50 seconds. That's what the crew is going to be working towards. The Commander Replacement pilot Victor Lovo will focus on preparing for that milestone.
To most, low Earth orbit is a destination. To Orion, it is only a departure point. This isn't a ferry. It's a flagship. The tip of the spear that leads the human spirit ever farther. The only true exploration class spaceship in the world, engineered to do what no other vehicle can do. 4 astronauts will fly in Orion for this journey, but they are lifted by the hands of thousands. From coast to coast and across the ocean, a tapestry of will, innovation, and achievement woven into carbon, titanium, and code. Up here, those thousands travel with them at each step. A quiet presence fused into every structure, every system. This is the 5th crew member, integrity, built to stand guard at the edge between the possible and the dream. We are leaving the comfort of our neighborhood, going where GPS can't reach and rescue is unthinkable. We are pushing farther than any human-rated ship has ever dared. Space tries to break what we build, but this ship was bred for the worst of days. It anticipates, it reacts. It holds the line between a fragile heartbeat and the absolute zero outside. As Orion flies in the silence, the human spirit is set free to wonder, to explore, to look out at the moon and see it new. The road home is a path of fire, hitting the atmosphere at 25,000 miles an hour. There is no margin for good enough. Orion is rigorously engineered for just this moment. This is when the 5th crew member takes the stick. Physics demands a price. Orion pays it. The crew arrives home under the canopy of parachutes. The capsule bears the scars. Across America, we who built her can exhale before preparing to take the next step, to go farther still.
Milestones that we break in just a 10-day mission.
Yes, what a way to welcome in the Artemis generation.
Yeah, how do you feel? I mean, we saw some beautiful shots we were covering of course, the rocket, of course, the Earth falling away as we continued up into our ascents, but also some of those crowd shots where we saw young and old just emotional, overcome by this history-making moment.
Man, we are going back to the moon for all.
You might be surprised of all the neat things you can learn about Artemis and the Orion spacecraft.
Cell phones of some sort, and there's more memory in your cell phone than anything we did in Apollo, and more memory than anything we did in shuttle.
Wow.
If you look at Apollo had a memory of about 72,000 bits of memory. This has 128,000 times more.
Wow.
So it is huge as compared to what we had in Apollo, which is the last time we went to the moon. So the reason for that is there's a lot more sensors, a lot more capability to do a lot more things than just doing it. Very advanced. It uses fiber optics for its data, and of course copper for the power, which is all very new. This is the first spacecraft.
And a good friend of our space cast, Randy Bresnik, he's going to give us a tour of inside what it looks like in Artemis and the Orion.
This is the Orion crew station, where the crew will be when they fly the vehicle. As you can see, the commander seat's on the left, the pilot seat is on the right, about 63. Inside, the crew of 4 can live and work for up to 21 days at a time, which is several days longer than the previous crewed Apollo missions to the moon. The interior is about 30% larger than those Apollo-era capsules to give more crew living and working space. Everything crew needs is packed right under the floor, thanks to the Orion stowage system. Under these panels is space for everything ranging from food, clothing, sleeping bags, to science and camera equipment, and even the tools necessary to perform repairs if required. On the upper part of the crew compartment, or what we call the overhead, is the docking compartment, a crucial component to future exploration. Through these windows, the 4 crew members will have amazing front row seats on their journey to and from the moon. Do you remember Apollo 8 and Bill Anders' famous photo of Earthrise as they came around the moon and saw it for the first time? Imagine being one of those first crew members on Orion, having their own modern-day Earthrise, and knowing they are traveling farther from Earth than humans have ever traveled before. Thanks to thousands of people from across the country and around the world who have helped with the research, design, construction, testing, and more testing. My fellow astronauts and I know that whoever gets selected for future Artemis missions, they're going to have the journey of a lifetime on board the spectacular vehicle we call Orion.
Welcome back to our coverage of Artemis II, a return to the moon. And I'd like you to meet our planetary scientist.
I was interested in space since I was a child. I was a child of the late 1980s, so this was the time when Voyager was visiting the outer planets, and so all of those spectacular images came back. So like other kids in that era, I was really compelled by those images to study space. I study rocks from space of various forms, and that's kind of the umbrella that defines a lot of my research. Those can be natural samples that we get as meteorites here on Earth, or they can be actual samples that we send people, in the case of the moon, to bring back to Earth, or more generally robots out to the asteroids and comets and other worlds in our solar system and bring those materials back to Earth to study.
And joining me now is Dr. Ryan Ogre, a planetary scientist at Central Florida University. Well, tell us a little about yourself and what you do at the university.
Thank you, David. So I am a physics professor at the University of Central Florida. I study planetary science, and my whole career I've been interested in everything about space. I started working in astrophysics. I studied the highest energy particles in the universe called the cosmic rays. And now I study various aspects of planetary science. I'm interested in the moons of the outer solar system, and I'm interested in our own moon. I'm interested in comets and asteroids. And my primary thing is to study samples in the lab. So we bring samples back from asteroids and comets and other bodies via space missions or naturally from meteorites. And I study those in very, very fine details with instruments I have in the lab.
We're going to the moon.
We are. I just saw it. It was amazing.
Going to the moon is, I've waited a long time to see this, to go back to the moon, 53 years. And I want to talk a little bit about, let's do a short video and let's let people see a little bit about it, and we'll come back and you can talk about the landing sites.
Great. Will do.
Went on a Carnival cruise. Maggie didn't come though because she's a dog. Mom did things I've never seen her do. Dad was himself, and I met this girl who was pretty cool, I guess. My best friend! Then I saw a bird. Hi.
Cool bird.
And Dad told us to put on sunscreen, and we had the best time together. Please don't tell my parents I said that.
Are you ready to fly away on a dream vacation? For cruises and all-inclusive resort vacations, call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631.
That's 877-747-8631.
The geologic features of the moon's interior. Our next location receives little direct sunlight and has some of the coldest recorded temperatures in the solar system based on temperature readings from LRO's Diviner instrument and reflectance from its laser altimeter LOLA. LOLA also allows us to peer into the darkness of Shackleton Crater by bringing us this digital elevation model. It's 21 kilometers wide and 4 kilometers deep, but it pales in comparison to the largest known impact crater in the Earth-Moon system, the South Pole Aitken Basin. The geologic features of the moon's interior.
Landing sites for a future Artemis mission. They're entirely at the South Pole of the moon, and it's going to be a very useful site to explore with future astronauts on the moon, because unlike Earth, where our axial tilt is at about 23 degrees relative to the plane at which we orbit the sun, the moon is only about 1.5 degrees tilt. So if you're at the South Pole of the moon, what you'd see is the sun kind of going around the horizon, and in some places the sun almost never sets throughout the year. So those places have near constant sunlight, and they're very useful for power. So you can have solar panels there and have a constant source of power. And that's if you're at a high point, like on the rim of Shackleton Crater, which you can see here. If you go down inside Shackleton Crater, you get the opposite. So you never see the sun. You're in this region that's in permanent shadow. And those places on the poles of the moon are some of the coldest places in the entire solar system. So some of these places are colder than the surface of Pluto. They're only 20 or 30 degrees above absolute zero. And so these places on the moon act as cold traps. And so if you have a little tiny bit of water on the moon, that water will migrate around the surface and it will hit these cold traps and freeze and stay there for geologic times. It could be billions of years. And so if we're looking to set up a permanent human presence on the moon, we could go like to the rim of Shackleton Crater, hang out there in the sunlight, collect power, and when we need water for drinking and to separate to make rocket fuel, we can go down inside of the crater.
Wow. I guess my question is this the only place that we can build a moon base?
It's one of the best places. So the South Pole and the North Pole have these permanently shadowed regions that give us water and fuel and that kind of thing. Other regions on the moon are very inhospitable. So there's radiation problems, there's no water. You go into night for 2 weeks at a time and day for 2 weeks at a time. So that makes it very hard to maintain a permanent base anywhere but the pole. So I would pick the poles as the place to set up a permanent habitat.
NASA administrator has said that they're going to put nuclear power on the moon.
That's right. I think this is long overdue. We've been trying to do fission reactors for a long time on the moon, and in spacecraft we have used a form of nuclear power to power like the Voyager probes and the New Horizons probe to Pluto and the Mars, the Perseverance rover that's on the surface of Mars right now. But we really need a fission reactor to create the amount of power we need to propel us to the outer solar system and to maintain a human presence on the moon. So some solar panels will do us well, but we need to really push that nuclear energy, and Isaacman is really pushing that, which I'm very excited to see.
Excellent. I want to get your reaction to a video of Mars. Roll it. Video. So I want to get your reaction. The hatch opens and boom. Are we going to walk on Mars?
I'm sure we will someday. I'd love to go there. I'd love to come back. I think it's kind of a scary place to live. But I think we take these, one step at a time. What we just saw a few minutes ago is the first step. I think it will happen. I'm not sure when. It's very challenging. There's lots to do on Mars. It's our next step to extend humanity's reach out in the solar system and further beyond, which we're going to have to do someday. There's going to be an asteroid that hits us someday. I think it's a great next step. There's lots of small challenges that we need to make it there, and I think, when we're looking at a really, really difficult goal like that, there's a bunch of small problems to solve, and that's where I get excited, is thinking about how we can, create useful oxygen, breathable oxygen on the surface of Mars and things like that. So I like hooking on to those small engineering challenges.
You've got a slide that shows how the size of Mars and the United States. Can we take a look at that slide? And your slide, the slide of the U.S. Okay, is that amazing? The size of the United States. Tell me, what's the comparison here?
Yes, so Earth is much bigger than Mars, but we have a lot of 3/4 of it is covered by water. That's not true on the Moon and Mars and Venus. So they have a lot of land area, and it's really kind of boggles the mind about how much there is to explore on Mars, which we view as a smaller planet. But there's so much land area. We've seen pictures from orbit. We've explored maybe only a couple miles by rovers, and so there's tons to look at with human boots on the ground.
Let's. I want to get another slide too about. We have found an unusual amount of water across Mars. Tell us about it.
So unlike the Moon, where there's some evidence for water, but it's a little bit controversial about how much there actually is on the Moon. Mars has ice caps that if they melted, the entire surface of Mars would be covered in 100 feet of water. So there's definitely water ice and water on Mars. There's been detections of actually liquid subsurface lakes on Mars via radar. And a lot of things in science, you can maybe interpret those different ways, and there's other people that think there's other interpretations for these things. But I think there's pretty good evidence that there is subsurface liquid water on Mars. It doesn't make sense because it should be cold, so maybe it's briny, maybe it's heated by subsurface.
All right, when we come back, you'll hear from our panel on today's launch and the mission. I'm David Denault for About Space Today's coverage of our launch of Artemis II. We'll continue after these messages.
Artemis ushers in the next wave of men and women to explore our moon and prove that together we're ready to go beyond.
All of us in here, yes.
Way to all-inclusive center visitors. Call today. The call is free, and so are our services. Call 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. We are Florida's group travel specialists. This is David Denault inviting you to see America 250 and experience history. 3 tours that will provide you a new perspective about early American history that comes to life. The Independence Tour, where you'll see Philadelphia's Independence Hall, Betsy Ross House, and Valley Forge, where Washington camped. See where America was formed. And
welcome back to our coverage of Artemis. We've got the panel back together, and let's start with you, Don. What your impressions were today and the mission?
It's an incredible launch today. We had such perfect weather just in time. The sun was out, blue skies. The crowd here was great. I loved it when they started doing the USA chant right as the solid rocket motors were done burning. We're in orbit now. We got solar panels out. Things are looking really amazing.
This was my first launch, so I moved to Florida only about 5 or 6 months ago with my family. So This set the bar very high, and it was totally amazing. I'm still a little bit in awe of what we just saw. It was so cool.
Cool. I would say I've seen many launches. This one was very, very good, very, very powerful. I would definitely agree. In the restaurant we're at, everyone chanting USA after SRB set was probably the highlight of watching it from here.
And with the audience. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our coverage of Artemis II. Continue to watch our twice a month podcast on About Space Today's channel on YouTube or your favorite channel. And we hope that you'll join us on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month. So for the entire group here, thank you for joining us today and seeing history in the making. We're going back to the moon.